Here in Boston at the state capitol, victory parades passed before then Governor Coolidge and his staff. In the words of leader Carrie Chapman Catt, was a long story of hard work and heartaches, but it was crowned by victory.
After Trump was elected, I think personally I felt somewhat discouraged and disappointed. I think along with that, incentivized to just do what I can and get more involved. I think it has made me feel more of a sense of urgency to be involved and to do what I can. Right after the election, I think there were a lot of just like public events and rallies and protests and all of those kinds of things that just got a lot of people out, and I think that was really important for that first year to just get people engaged and out in the community and out of our houses and out from behind our computers. A lot has changed with the election. There are a lot of people who are affected directly or indirectly by different policies and things that are happening. I think that's just encouraged a lot of people to get a little bit more engaged, both on the national and local level. I'm involved in some groups that, they follow different issues, and when bills arise or there are particular events that we want our elected officials to pay attention to or take action on, we can try to make phone calls or send letters. So just trying to be an engaged member of the community, basically. This year, I got involved with a group called Voterize. They recruit volunteers to help register new voters. Kind of walk around with a clipboard and get people signed up to vote. When I make phone calls or write letters, I feel like it's something that I can do that in some cases makes a difference when a lot of people do the same. And just, for me personally, if I'm reading the news or hearing about something that's happening that I think needs to change, it's a way for me to take a little bit of action, even if it's just a small thing. And I think it's easy to say, well, what difference did my little postcard or whatever it was make? But it absolutely makes a difference when so many people all over the country are doing something, using their voice. Things that I've been involved with that have been the most satisfying. One was just being involved in the efforts to protect the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare. So there are a lot of local groups who are very active in this and trying to advocate for it, and then seeing just how those efforts actually succeeded. The other thing that was really satisfying was actually right after the election, a group called Utah Women Unite organized a women's march at the state capitol. And that was really moving because it was sort of the first really big rally after the election, kind of in response to that. And it was just, it was cathartic in terms of being with a lot of other people who were concerned about the election. And it was also just really amazing to see so many people coming together in the Capitol. I don't know if there's ever been that many people at a rally there before. There's one point where a legislator kind of asked the crowd to yell at the top of our voices. And so there was just this incredible, it was just almost like a primal scream in the Utah Capitol. And it was so deafening. If you imagine the marble and the echoes, and it was just so deafening. And it was also the first or second day of the legislative session. So all the state legislators were in session, and they actually had to stop and pause their session because it was so deafeningly loud in there. So that was a really amazing thing to be a part of, and also just see people step up and organize that on really short notice. So if I were going to give any kind of advice to someone who wanted to get engaged in the community, I'd say just you think about what's really important to you, and whether that's something you read about in the news, whether it's something you see in your own community or your family, and just recognize that there are opportunities to get involved and make a difference. And even a small amount of action actually makes a really big difference.